When something goes wrong with a company, a charge you did not make, a bill that is wrong, a decision you want reversed, you are usually told exactly one number. You have 60 days. You have 30 days. Act now. And that number is real, it is in the rules, and it is worth knowing. What you are almost never told is that the same rules put clocks on the other side too, usually more of them and usually shorter. So today I took a real regulation, 3 pages long, and sorted every deadline in it by who it actually binds. The result is more lopsided than I expected, and there is one count in it that requires no interpretation from me whatsoever. What we are reading is the section of a federal regulation that governs what happens after you tell a bank something on your statement is wrong. It is public, it is short, and it is the rule itself rather than a summary of it, which matters, because every summary of this is written by one of the two parties it binds. So here is every clock in it. 60 days to report it, that is your 1. Then there's 10 business days to investigate and decide. 3 to tell you the result. 1 business day to actually fix it. 45 days as the outer limit, and only if they put the money back provisionally within 10. 2 business days to tell you they did. And here is the count that needs no interpretation from me at all. In these 3 pages, the phrase institution shall appears 7 times. The phrase consumer shall appears 0 times. Not once. This entire section is a list of things somebody else has to do on a clock, and it reads like a list of things you have to do. So the question to ask any institution is not just what is my deadline. It is what is yours. Every process document like this one has obligations running in both directions, and the letter you receive will describe exactly one of them. Find the rule, search for the word shall, and see who the sentence is about. If the answer is them, you now know something that was true the whole time and was never going to be volunteered. And to be plain, that is what one public regulation says on the pages shown. It is not legal or financial advice, and an actual dispute is a question for someone qualified. And notice this is not a case of anybody lying to you. The 60 days is real, it is in the rule, and missing it genuinely costs you. The letter is accurate. It is just answering a different question from the one you would ask if you knew the shape of the document, which is not what must I do, but what happens next and by when. Those 2 halves are in the same 3 pages, and only one of them ever gets quoted at you. And before any of the clocks matter, there is a definition that decides whether they apply at all, which is the lesson from every one of these documents. Error is a defined word here, and it covers 7 separate things. Not just a transfer you did not authorize, a transfer for the wrong amount, a computational mistake by the bank, the wrong amount of cash out of a machine, and this one, which almost nobody would think to call an error, the omission of an electronic fund transfer from a periodic statement. Something that is not on your statement, and should be, is an error under this rule, with the same clocks attached. So here is the method, and it works on anything written by an institution, a regulation, a policy, a complaints procedure, a code of practice. Find the rule itself rather than the page explaining it. Search for the word shall, which is how obligations get written in this register. And then for every hit, ask one question. Who is the subject of this sentence? Not what does it require. Who does it require it of? Count them up, and the ratio tells you the shape of the arrangement faster than reading the whole thing would. On this document, the phrase institution shall appears 7 times in 3 pages. The phrase consumer shall appears 0 times. 0. Every single obligation in the error resolution section runs one way, and the document is still experienced by almost everyone as a list of hoops they have to jump through. 3 things worth keeping. Ask what the clock on them is, not just the clock on you. Search for the word shall, and look at who the sentence is about. And go to the rule rather than the letter, because the letter is written by one of the 2 parties and will describe one half of the arrangement accurately and completely. And the thing underneath all of this, which is the reason I keep coming back to primary documents on this channel. Nothing here was concealed. The regulation is public, it is 3 pages, it is free, and it says all of this plainly in ordinary sentences. The asymmetry is not in the rules. The rules are close to even, and arguably tilted your way. The asymmetry is entirely in who bothers to read them. One side has staff whose job is knowing this section. The other side has a letter quoting the one number that runs against them. That gap closes in about 10 minutes with the actual document open, and it does not close at all otherwise. Everything here is what one public regulation says on the pages shown. For an actual dispute, ask someone qualified. But read the rule first, because arriving already knowing which clause you are relying on changes that conversation completely, and it costs you 10 minutes and nothing else. One of these every day, on the paperwork nobody enjoys. Subscribe if that's useful to you.